Hello YouTube, my name's JD from Melbourne, Australia, and this is my first video. So the reason I'm making this video is because I'm about to have a fairly lengthy drawn out medical procedure. I'm going to have double jaw surgery, and that's going to take between 18 and 24 months from when I get braces on to when I have them off again. So it's going to be pretty drawn out. There's going to be some interesting things along the way, and I thought that I would share my experience with people on YouTube who might be interested or who might also be considering having this kind of treatment done themselves. So the purpose of this video is just to introduce myself a little bit, talk about my issue and what I'm going to expect coming up. So to start off, I'll just show you my smile and maybe give you some profile views. So here's my smile. From the side. And from the other side. Okay, so I'm 34 years old. I'm 180 centimeters tall, which is about 6 foot, and I weigh 86 kilos. I don't know how much that is in pounds, but I'll put it on the screen somewhere around here. When talking about my medical history a little bit, or as far as my orthodontics goes, I did have braces when I was younger, about 20 years ago. At that time, the orthodontist was afraid that my jaw was growing quite long and that they might need to do jaw surgery back then. But my parents weren't keen to sort of cut me open while I was developing, but now I'm a grown-ass adult, so I'm going to do what I want. The main issue for me here is, so I've had an orthodontist who's tried to straighten my teeth and done the best that he could with the tools that he had at the time. But the issue is that my jaws don't really match very well. So I've got a really long lower jaw. That's not going to change as a result of this surgery. It is a little bit skewed to the right though, and that probably will change. But the main things that they're going to be working on throughout this procedure is my top jaw. So my bottom jaw is quite U-shaped, whereas my top jaw is quite V-shaped. So already there's a bit of a shape sort of mismatch there. The bottom jaw has sort of a better U-shape. And for my top jaw, that is not far out enough. So it's sitting too far back into my head. What that means is that I should have pretty pronounced underbite, like this. You can't really notice it too well because when the orthodontist did my teeth when I was a teenager, I think he made it so that my bottom teeth sort of slanted inwards a bit and my top teeth sort of slanted outwards a bit. So they do sort of match up in a sense, but just it's not a very ideal occlusion, as the orthodontists would say. So the main idea here is that they're going to want to elongate my top jaw, and they're going to sort of cut into it and bring it forward, and they're going to sort of twist my bottom jaw just to stop it from slanting to the right a little bit, and then by the end of it, I'll have two jaws that are well aligned with really nice straight teeth. So just to talk a little bit about what I've done recently, that sort of where I'm at right now. So the orthodontist wanted me to do some preliminary things. I had to get a couple of fillings in my bottom teeth. I had to get a crown on one of my back teeth. Just because I'm going to be having braces on, and he wanted to make sure that my teeth were strong enough to deal with the procedure. Okay, so today is sort of the first day of the journey, if you like. I've seen the orthodontist to sort of get this process started. So what I'm working towards now is in 3 weeks' time, I'm going to be having what's called surgically assisted maxillary expansion, or S.A.M.E surgery. It's a pretty small procedure, and I'll talk a little bit more about that in a future video, but the main idea now is that they're going to try and widen my top jaw, so sort of get it out of that V shape and get it more into a U shape. And part of the effect of that is going to be to bring my top teeth backward a little bit. So for the first 12 to 14 months here before I have the major surgery, it's going to look like I'm getting an even worse underbite. So that's what I'm working towards right now, and today is the first day where he just put some spaces between my top teeth, and that's just some little rubber rings. Anyway, I'll talk more about the sort of S.A.M.E surgery in a couple of weeks just before that happens. It's about 3 weeks away. So the next step will be, after my sort of top jaw has been widened a little bit, is to put some braces on me. By that stage, I should have a pretty big gap between my two top teeth because they're going to be sort of widening it, so there's going to be sort of extra bone in the middle of my top jaw. So they're going to put braces on me, and then for about 12 to 14 months, they'll be just using the braces to sort of position my teeth ready for the major surgery. And then towards the end of the year, next year in December, they're going to be doing the major double surgery where they're going to cut into the top jaw, bring my top jaw forward. They're going to sort of correct my bottom jaw by just nudging it back around to the left a little bit, and so hopefully they'll be really nicely aligned after that. And then there's 4 to 6 months after that where they just keep the braces on and sort of tinker around the edges to make sure I get a nice smile. Okay, so it's a lot of work. It's going to be scary. I'm expecting that I'm going to be really hungry, particularly after the double jaw surgery. I'm not going to be able to eat solid foods properly for at least a month and maybe even longer. I've heard that it can be really difficult just emotionally and mentally because you're sort of at home, you've got a really badly swollen face. But all this sort of stuff, that's going to be more of a problem in 14 months. For now, what I have to look forward to is having a device put into my upper jaw, and then to sort of screw that each day to make my top jaw widen. But anyway, I'll be talking about this sort of stuff maybe closer as we get to the point. I think that's a pretty good introduction. Yeah. Alright, so I'll make another video in a couple of weeks. If you've got any particular questions that you want me to answer in the next video, please let me know in the comments. Any feedback is welcome. Thanks for watching.